Welcome back to Her Epiphany. I'm Tina, your host. Today's topic is Epiphanies over 40. We'll see you soon after this break.
If you came to party, let me hear you blow that whistle now. If you came to party, let me hear you blow that whistle now.
Welcome back to Her Epiphany. I'm here with Emanda Stevens, Latasha Whitlock, Denise Moore, and Kim Anderson. Our show today is on Epiphanies after 40. I want to introduce to you Emanda Stevens. What's your age, Emanda?
40.
Tasha.
50.
Denise.
48.
Kim.
43.
And I'm 46. So our first conversation will be about the mind. How's life with your mind after 40? Can you give me a little bit about 40? Your mind after 40, Emanda?
Your mind after 40 slows up. You have to call your children to get the remote to change the TV for you. Now you see why your parents did the things that they did at 30 and 40. You have to write things down. You have to document. You have to put things in your phone because if you don't write it down, it will not get done.
Correct. How's life after 40?
After 40, my life is everything great. And I have 2 children.
So are there any struggles after 40?
Yeah.
What are your struggles?
Financially,
So what's the financial that you have after 40? Was it a little bit better before 40?
it was really better before 40.
So what changed?
Working
Harder.
working hard in
Right.
school and working be for DNA every time after 40.
Right.
Yeah.
So how about you, Kim?
Mentally, I would definitely agree with Amanda. I put a lot of things in my planner, in my calendar, in my phone. Bills, it's just I need reminders
Right.
because life becomes a lot more busier. The older you get, you take on so many different responsibilities.
Right.
I'm single. I can't imagine having a family and having to keep up with a kid and a husband and all this other stuff. These are all like jobs,
Right.
So it's like you have to go out, make a living, but then in life, we all have these different compartments of jobs. The job of being a mom, the job of being a wife,
Right.
the job of being a caretaker for aging parents. That's one thing I'm praying to God to give me grace and, the wherewithal when that time comes. These are reality checks.
Right. Really, because I just lost my stepmother 2 weeks ago.
Oh my
And preparing, I lost my dad in 2019. And I wasn't prepared, it went smoothly. Things worked out well. However, the emotional trauma is a lot because you're not taught to, I guess, in our culture, to get prepared for having to take care of your parents. That's a mental struggle in itself. She had Alzheimer's. And also she, after the Alzheimer's, you had to deal with the nursing home, and preparing for the funeral, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you guys have experienced it before, anyone else, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
So how about you, Denise?
Yeah, 40 is busy.
Right?
I must say, 40 is
Yeah.
super busy. For me, it was a huge change because my career changed. And with the career change, I was moving more into a management role. So that, it's always traveling and keeping up with meetings and things like that. Very busy schedule. And then to piggyback off of what you said with having aging parents, as you're well aware, my mom is in her 80s and she lives up in New York. So I'm back and forth always, trying to make sure that she's good, her health, and, she lives in the home by herself. Although she can get around and do what she needs to do, you as a child, you still have that concern on a regular basis. Like, anything can go wrong. And as they're aging, you deal with Alzheimer's, dementia, all these things.
So it's like you become the parent. And
Right.
you become the child.
Right.
Yep.
So the roles kind of reverse a little bit. And, where you would find yourself in your 30s, you didn't have those type of 40s where, some of us, our careers may start taking off. You get to the next, we've got another challenge now.
Right.
That's like almost like our child. Right. So you have to plan, you have to be aware, you have to know what's going on with them. So like I said, it's super, super busy. And then, when you have younger children within a family as well, like your nieces and nephews, that's a huge thing too, as well. Because when you're the auntie, you're really looked upon. You're sort of like a guy this age, right? For them, because you're the younger generation. That's also another responsibility that you take on once you start to get into that 40 age. It's just not the parents; it's the whole family.
Right.
So
how about dealing with the body? Anybody body seem to change after 40? I know.
Recently?
Absolutely.
I just had oh my goodness, it was traumatic experience. No one seemed to ever tell me about, hey, once you turn 40, Tina, there's certain kind of tests and things you need to get done after 40, like a colonoscopy. Yeah, that was tough.
Fun.
Yeah.
That was torture.
It's a
I
lot.
had 1 foot in the bathroom and 1 foot in the bedroom, and I began like shivering, and then them putting you to sleep. It was a lot of trauma.
Okay,
A
so
lot of trauma.
key advice that my doctor, we discussed, you live your teens for your 20s, you live your 20s for your 30s, and your 30s for your 40s.
Right.
Always keep that in mind.
Well, I wish I would have known that.
Right, and it makes complete sense.
Right.
Like once you think back on it, so I need to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Because now we're looking to our what?
50s. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Exciting.
my doctor actually has been prepping me as I turn 40 to kind of think along that same trajectory. So, for instance, like the colonoscopy, I haven't had that done yet, but she's been in my ear about that since I was like 43 years old. Then, your breast exams, your regular pap exams, your cervical exams,
Well,
all of these things you normally
found out that, with the PAP, you bringing up the PAP, that they can do all the tests that they want on the outside, but after 40, there's a test you need to get called an endometrium biopsy to make sure there's no cancer on the inside.
Yeah.
So all these years you're getting PAPs. So why aren't y'all checking on the inside? So that's something to make others aware. It's a very traumatic experience as well. But you want to make sure that, like you said, your doctors are keeping you abreast on what you need to do to take care of your body. Is there anything you experienced, Tasha?
Yeah. Per the menopause.
Oh,
wow.
My God.
Let's not even talk about that.
Perimenopause.
Yeah, it's very horrible feeling.
So
It's
what
really
what
horrible
are
feeling.
your symptoms?
Yeah, symptoms like hot flash,
Mm-hmm.
sweating,
Mm-hmm.
and your body aching,
Your joints.
your joint,
Yeah.
body, everything was aching. You like,
Yeah.
what the heck? My body changing, everything
Yeah.
changing.
So is this like a weekly thing, or once a month?
It's like everyone is different.
Right.
It's individual. Me, I'm like irregular, like an up and down, like up and down. It's not like regular period.
Right.
Period that was not regular. It's like maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month,
Mhm.
and maybe the period's not really heavy.
Right.
Real light and then heavy. Everyone is different.
Right.
So,
How
Yeah,
about you, Kim?
I just started going through the flashes. I mean, I'm in denial.
Come on out of Africa.
It's just
Come out the
it's
now.
the devil. Like, why? Like, seriously, I'm like sitting here and I'm on fire for no reason. It just hits you, and at this point, I'm looking for alternatives of how I can minimize these effects.
All right.
I was literally in a meeting with some coworkers the other day, and I started pulling on my clothes, and they were looking at me like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm looking for relief because I have not been dealing with this. Like, it just
So
it just
did
shows up one
It
day.
just started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
So
Lord,
did
this
you-
ain't right.
Did you go to your doctor and talk to your doctor, or you just
No,
figured
I
it-
haven't yet.
Right.
But naturally, my sister is like 3 years older than I.
Mhm.
Of course, my mom, and talking to them, of course, they're like, "Girl, we know what these symptoms are.
Right.
We're gonna tell you right now, like perimenopausal. Like you're starting to go through the change, and I'm still in a bit of a denial, but I need to get with the program and figure this thing out because it just hits at
Right.
nighttime. It's like I can't hardly get any sleep. It's
I feel
cold,
that way,
hot, cold.
Yeah.
I need to like revamp like some of my natural or things that I do regularly. Like I like wearing layers of clothes.
Right.
It's not conducive to what's happening to
Right
me
now.
now. Because when it hits, it's like I have all these. Why do I have all these clothes on?
Well,
So like I need to rethink that whole thing.
right.
It's changing my life.
So my mom told me about 5 years ago, she was like, "Girl, get you some estrogen in you." And I'm like, "What?" Looked it up, so that might be why I said go ahead
That
and
makes
start
it
a
go
regimen.
down.
Yeah.
Right.
But for 40 for me, it was like the switch flipped. I was like, "Oh my goodness gracious." Like you said, the ankles, the joints,
Yes.
everything. It's like, oh my God, I gotta make an appointment. Why does this feel like this? I need all of my specialists to come to a round table like
That's
this.
me.
They need a
Right.
Zoom meeting
That's
about me.
me.
So that's what 40 health-wise is
Right.
like.
Right.
Like everybody that deals with every little intricate part of me need to
You
come
have
together
to,
to
yes.
figure this thing out because
Yes.
I haven't.
Yeah, so I've been, a lot. You guys talk about the joints. I've learned that I put myself on a regimen with my therapist, Damian Cameron, and it seems now I'm on 3 weeks. So it seems as though it helps a lot when you naturally take care of your body, because sometimes when you go to the doctors, they're like more so, hey, take this, take that.
Right.
You don't want to put yourself on
Preventative.
all that medication. So there are holistic ways you can really take care of your body and bring yourself into balance. So
Exercise.
I've been
Definitely.
right, but when you're like gushing for a whole week, who wants to exercise?
Right.
Like who wants to do that?
Yeah.
I've heard people just being out places. I'm quite sure you've given me advice on that, Denise, being out and just having to have something on you. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but you have to have your safety kit on you because anything can happen at that time.
Become unpredictable.
Right. So I'm not prepared for that one, but so let's move on. Let's move on to, we have the mind, we have the body, and the soul. How are you balanced? How are you spiritually? with self now that you're 40? What's your overlook on life, Kim?
I find that I want to be more intentional about many things or most things. You know, I just don't have the energy like I used to just go and do. So I want to make sense of what I'm doing, when I'm doing it. You
And
know,
why?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, it's not many times it's just for shits and giggles anymore. It's just not. I don't have it.
Right.
You know, like I've been there, I've done that. And it's about a lot of intentionality, you know, whereas with relationships, you know, I'm just not connecting with anyone. You know, you're just being more mindful of things and their purpose. And it's not just this like, kind of like free kind of flowing thing that
Like
I
the
feel
20s.
like we've done in our younger age, where it's just like, oh, you just go with it. I'm not really going with it so much anymore. I need to know specifically what's going on here. Why am I doing this? You know, what's the purpose? How is it going to be beneficial? How can I be beneficial?
Right.
You know, I want things to make more sense. And not to say that I can't be spontaneous or, you know, some of these
Have a
other,
little fun.
more fun
Yeah,
things. But I feel like,
Everything
you know,
within reason.
you kind of get your focus going in a little more
Right.
at this age, because you've experienced so much. You've done a lot of, well, at least I have. You know, I've had a lot of just the free, carefree, fun type thing to where, you know, I just want things to be more meaningful.
All right. How about you, Denise?
I agree with everything she just said. I think for me, what's changed for my 40s is that I'm more regimented with my spiritual practices. I do take more time out now to meditate and really stick to that on a daily basis. I am more intentional. I agree. Now it's like, you know, it's not about just accepting whatever comes to you anymore.
Exactly.
It's really about, you know, how's it going to affect you? How's it going to affect your mental? You know, how are you going to feel down the road after you do these things? You know, I can just remember back in the day, as you know, when you're younger, you do certain things just because it's for the money or it's for the fame or it's for whatever, you know, whatever
Right.
the purpose is. But when you start to get here in your 40s now, you look at life from a very different perspective. You know, it's about what brings you your joy. What brings you joy, what brings you
Exactly.
happiness,
Okay.
and what brings you peace. Because I
Peace.
guarantee you, if that word resonates
Peace.
with everybody at this table, when you get to 40, you're looking for peace.
If you don't have your
Sure.
peace,
Yes.
you
You're
don't
looking for
have your
peace.
joy.
Right.
You know, I find that in my 40s that, you know, I've become more self-aware. However, with the self-awareness, I can look back and see all the little seeds that I've planted and watching them grow. And it's more like reaping a harvest from me planting those seeds about, you know, I might not have been aware in my 20s of what seeds I was planting, but I was planting them,
Mhm.
you know, and now I'm like, wow, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I made that decision. I'm glad, you know. So that's what brings me my peace and joy, that now that I'm in my 40s, I'm not scrambling to get, you know, certain things done or move certain people out or, you know, to get certain places, because I've created, we talk balance and boundaries. Big
Mhm.
thing, balance and boundaries. So how's it in your 40s as far as, you know, your soul, Emanda?
My soul, you have to guard your soul.
Oh, for sure.
Have to guard your soul. When I think of a soul, I think of energy. So you have to be careful of the energy that not only comes to you, but the energy that you give
That's
off.
right.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And we all have little souls that are breathed into us at birth. So some things you just can't get away from. And that's when callings and things like that come up. So just got to be obedient, be aware,
Mhm.
be aware of the things that are going on. Keep your soul guarded. That's where I am right now. Keep it guarded, and I'm always open to learning, because there is so much out here in this big world that we live in.
Mhm.
And you have to be one with yourself, be one with your creator.
Mhm.
And just at 40, you should be kind of like lining up with your purpose.
Mhm.
You should have learned some lessons
Right.
by 40,
Yep.
so you'll know which way you're going.
Mhm.
So, how are you with your soul, Miss Tasha? How's everything going as far as, what have you brought into alignment or made yourself, become aware of since you passed 40?
That's all
Got
be
to
easy.
be confident
Confident? Yeah, confidence. Yeah.
and just pray.
Absolutely.
Number one.
All I need to
No,
do
keep
is
that first.
praise God
Right,
and don't let it affect me
right.
to keep going.
Motivation. Sometimes keeping up that motivation can get hard.
Yes.
Really hard.
Let's tell the truth.
Right.
Let's be real.
That motivation sometimes it's like, what am I doing? Where am I going?
Why?
What am I doing this for? And it can, honestly why, but sometimes because you can't see or you can't feel it at the moment, you can get stuck.
Mhm.
So, being again, attracting the right people, being aware who you have around you, you can pick up the phone and say, hey girl, it's one of them days, or, by, going to work and, seeing what you're doing and like, oh, I do have a purpose.
Mhm.
Or even just like you said, praying, when you pray to God, he can open your eyes to some things that you may not see or hear at that time.
And there's another thing. Sometimes I look in the mirror,
Hey,
Yeah,
put some note, write the note, and put it on
Yeah.
a note, put it on the mirror.
that's good.
Say, look,
that's something a lot of
Yeah.
people can't do.
Mhm.
no.
A lot of people have a lot of distractions nowadays because they can't look at themselves in the mirror, and that's something I practice. I'm glad you said that, Tasha. I practice looking at myself in the mirror. How can I better myself?
Daily.
What are you doing in this
Daily.
situation that you can
Yeah.
better in? Hey Tina, you're beautiful. Hey
Yeah.
Tina, you're doing an amazing job. Encourage yourself.
Yeah.
We don't take time out to encourage ourselves either. But when you get in your 40s, you become more aware of how you need to take care of yourself instead of just everybody else.
Oh,
You know.
yes.
The other
Yeah.
thing I would say to that too is to make your soul sing. Living in your passion is
Amen.
very big.
Yes,
It's very
yes,
big.
yes.
Once you start to figure out your passion, it's true what people say. Everything just starts to come together.
Yes, it does.
You could be making the most minimal amount of money doing
Right.
your passion, but because it's your
It'll
passion,
bring the joy and
it's gonna
light.
bring
Fulfillment.
Yes.
that smile, that happiness, that
Right.
glow.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, people are gonna see it. They're gonna know it, and they're gonna attract to whatever product or whatever you're doing because you're living your passion and it's coming out from in your heart into your face, into your
Right.
work, everything that you do. So find your passion, live your passion. You'll get there.
Awesome. What do you do, Amanda?
Whatever needs to be done.
Jack of all
No.
trades.
Right?
Really, really. I have so many gifts and talents, but I am a hairstylist by trade. So many. I can go in so many different directions.
Right.
I am a creative being. Got a little bit of brains. So I don't know which way my career path is going to take me, but I feel like a shift is coming. Finances have been knocking at my door, some sort of human services, as much as I love my people, our people. They get on my nerves, but it's like I'm here to be a vessel to help our people. So in some sort of way, I feel myself going in some different directions. But my passion, I started out at about 13 for money doing hair. I'm a senior licensed cosmetologist.
Yeah, so with your passion, it seems that, like I said, everything seems to come together around this time. It just brings itself in. So it's like anything that you like. My cousin, I talked to her yesterday, Kim. She's my cousin, and she's like, "Oh, Tina, you're a creator," and so it just, when you're doing what you love, everything just comes. It comes naturally. And you look up and you're like, how did I get there?
Exactly.
Because you're loving what you do. So the time doesn't matter, you know? So what do you do, Tasha?
Well, in my 20s,
What do you do now? Oh, in your 20s,
when I was
right?
20, my passion is what to do with the decoration in my business. Like, do people home
Decorations, yes.
But now I'm just CNA, but at the same time, I'm still working on get my own business with the different type of business. So I have not decided yet.
Right.
So.
Right. But you're going in the right path now, right? Yeah. So how about you, Denise?
So I'm a consultant. I work in the health and welfare benefits field. And I pretty much work with a lot of Fortune 500 companies. I go in and I help strategize their actual benefit offerings for, new hires, anybody that they're bringing on. So my job is to kind of make them very competitive so that when they go out and hire for any new hires, that they're offering them the best compensation and benefits package. So didn't start out as my passion. I will not lie. Initially, I'd gone to school for psychology. I just, because of the location of where I was living at that time, being a counselor, going into therapy, it was hard. You know, in the 90s, mental health was not something that was right. Mental health was not something that was
on
important.
and popping now. It's on and popping now.
It's so funny because I'm like, wow, I have the foundation for all of it, but I've veered away so much.
I'm over here now.
Right. Because I need it.
I have veered away so much and from the field. And funny that you said that. I'd gone back to school last year. I was pursuing my doctorate, but I was doing it in business. So I don't know. I may actually decide to go back down that road because it is such a wide open field now. There is such a need.
Right.
There's a huge need within our community.
Yes.
I mean, children, men, everybody.
And everybody's seeking now.
Yeah.
So that's the plus in it.
Yeah.
And again, the seed is already planted.
It was.
It's already planted. So if you decide, hey,
I definitely could
let me try this again.
Yeah.
You can. How about you, Kim?
I have a strong background in business administration. So essentially, helping you get your business together, managing, planning, scheduling. But my passion is in writing. So that is my focal point for like this year. I want to do more of that. I'm working on some projects that I intend to, I guess, essentially maybe launch into some entrepreneurship. I'm not particularly a fan of entrepreneurship. Just
Why
because
is that?
How was that?
Just because
Inquiry minds want to know.
listen, I'm about to let you know. I have a lot of friends and family that I have seen, and just from personal knowledge, I think it can be stressful. And I'm not about stress and nothing, but I do understand. I mean, it's a necessary thing. I don't know that it's necessarily lasting for entrepreneurship, but I know that like that initial dive in can bring, you know, a level of stress, because I mean, pretty much within like the first 5 years, you are really giving. And it's and you don't really turn the profit.
Back to passion.
Yeah.
You know, I'm quite sure me and Amanda can, you know, talk on that. Is that we started out at an early age. So she started out at 13, I started out at 11. So about the time we got in our 20s, we had built enough tough skin, and we were, you know, in hair school by then.
Mm.
So it's like when you're doing your passion, that stress. I actually got into a car accident and got forced to go to school to begin doing my passion, because I wasn't ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared. Like you're saying, I was scared to go after it because it was going to take away my finances. But God created an avenue. Look, I have this open. What's your excuse now? I didn't have to worry about money, you know? And so I said, you know what, God, I think I better listen, because that could have been a prime opportunity, you know, where I could have said, hey, I'm going to stay here and go ahead. But then I wouldn't be happy, you know? So
You said you want to do writing, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are so many programs right now, because I was looking into maybe creating a children's book.
Yes.
But there are so many apps out there right now that will help you get started with doing editing, illustration,
Right.
even
Right.
AI. There's even AI apps out there now where you can get the pictures
right.
for the books that you don't have to pay copyright.
Mm.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. If you dig down, you can do a lot of this stuff on your own for a minimal amount, and even upload your book right to Amazon. You don't even have to go through the whole process of, you know, getting it edited. You can do it all and upload it right to Amazon. So, I mean, if that's really what you want to do, it's out there. You just gotta,
right, grab it.
you gotta reach for it, grab it.
Because
and
at the
just
end of
ask
the
a couple
day, you
questions.
don't want to have that void saying, you know, oh, I could have, should have, would have.
Right.
But you know, you don't want to be sitting
for
there,
sure.
and because at the end of the day, you want to be at peace and happy with self. I accomplished what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Even if you choose to keep your 9 to 5, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay.
Keep your 9 to 5.
And right in between.
Till you get straight.
Put your book in your notes.
Right.
I'm a paper and pen girl, so I love reading. I have a few books that I had books I supposed to wrote 3-4 years ago. So disobedient, but I'm praying that it comes around full circle.
So
What's happening, girl? You over there? What's
Yeah,
happening?
it's flashing.
So what about family after 40? How's it? We kind of discussed it a little bit as far as, you know, taking care of parents.
Kids.
You know, how about, you know, just being, you know, a sibling after 40, or a mom, or, you know, I know some people. Are your parents still alive, Tasha? No. So how was that?
One of my mom passed away.
Okay. How was it?
2001.
You
My
know,
father's still alive,
Right.
but my mom was passed away in 2001. I was kind of fitted down for a while
Right.
after my mom was passed away. We had some connection.
right.
And so my mom was on drugs.
Right.
It was so hard for her. So she
That's a
got
good
got
topic
worried,
that she
got
just
worried,
brought up.
got
Right.
worried. So I should keep my head up and keep moving until pass away.
Right. So another thing, you know, us being in our 40s dealing with family, I don't know if you guys experienced it. I know Kim may not have. Maybe your sibling, you know. Now that we're in our 40s, we went through a period where there was a lot of drugs,
Oh,
you know, and I've had the experience of dealing with a parent, you know, out there. And I'm quite sure a lot of people have in their 40s dealing with parents in that era, you know, and you know, it had a lot of effect on your life, you know, as far as not just you know, passing, however, you know, you being a parent because of that situation. You know, has anybody else dealt with that?
No, I haven't dealt with that. The only thing what I've encountered for me is my brother was very heavily on drugs. He was a crack addict. Hit, you know, everybody hit, epidemic hit New York in the late 80s into the 90s. My brother was on crack for quite a while. He's been about, I think, 20 years or 15 clean right about now. But
Amazing.
the thing is, when you have a sibling that's been on drugs, it's a severe impact to the family.
Anyone.
Anyone. But
Yeah.
I mean, I can specifically say that it's very tough on the family, especially the parents,
Right.
because the parents don't ever want to give up on their child.
Right.
But that child will drag you down every avenue
Yeah.
and every road
Because
and
that's not them.
every gutter
Right.
that you could ever imagine. And, you know, the person that's on drugs just doesn't understand what they're doing
Yeah.
to that family member. And then as being a sibling, you know, because he was older than me, I was put in a predicament where it was like, because I saw what I saw, no, I'm not going down that road.
Right.
You know, it's like, no, I'm not even thinking about going down
So
that
it was
road.
it actually helped you. In a sense.
Yeah, it saved.
Yeah.
I will not lie. It saved me a lot because I grew up in the era, like I said, I went to college in the early 90s, and then I went to school down in Virginia. So the drugs was heavy from everywhere I went, you know, on the East Coast. I mean, New York straight down to Virginia, everybody was slinging crack, you know. So when I went down south
Partying
and going to a HSBCU, I was seeing all that stuff.
Right.
You know, I would be in the frat parties. You know, they would smoke back then. They would roll up woolers. Y'all remember woolers, right? They'd lace it with marijuana and cocaine.
Oh my.
All of that. I mean, all of that used to be happening in the frat parties.
Mhm.
But because of what happened to me and me seeing my brother, I was
I'm
just
not
like,
touching it. I'm not
Right.
touching it. Right.
I'm good. I'm
Right.
G money. You know, and I could see the pain and the anguish within my mother. You know, that's a heavy toll
Right.
on a parent.
Right.
So yeah, it's hard when you're dealing with siblings. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like having a parent
Right.
on drugs, you know, that has to take care of you.
What about mental health in the family? How's it now? You know, because when you're younger, dealing with mental health when you're younger, back when we were younger, that wasn't anything you talked about.
Right. You lock them in the
Now-
closet.
They were kept
You lock them in the
in the
closet.
Right.
There was a
Upstairs.
disappointments room.
Put them
Right,
upstairs.
right.
And I have a special needs daughter. I have a daughter that has cerebral palsy.
Right.
Oh,
Yes. And no, because this is a firecracker.
Really?
Absolutely. She's nonverbal.
Okay.
Full-term pregnancy, everything was fine, but she had cerebral palsy. She couldn't walk until she was about 9.
Mm.
The bolts just flew out of her wheelchair. And it was like, okay, I get it going. Okay, let the reins off.
Wow.
She's gonna walk.
Amazing.
So
That's good.
that just resonated really quick because I watched a movie before called The Disappointments Room, where those people were locked away.
Yeah.
They didn't come out.
Right.
They came out or at night or early in the morning.
Mhm.
And now with mental health, with all of these diagnoses, like
Right.
it's just out on the forefront. Like
Right.
our eyes are open. And with me having a daughter, she's 14.
Mhm.
So it's just, and I can't believe she's 14. It's just like I just
They grow
had
so
her.
fast.
Really, and she's just walking around like, girl. But
Yeah.
it's an eye opener how society has changed.
Yeah.
And how everything's changed.
Yeah.
It's
I've
really
had,
resources.
you know, to deal with it. My son is
Yes.
more high functioning,
Mhm.
and it's more like mentally developmental that he deals with it. However, when you've been grounded spiritually, mentally, took myself through parenting classes as well. You know, I began to learn how to, manage and deal with a child with mental illness. It's tough. It's not easy by far, but, as they get older, you get to be more, they're more settled. And it makes me such a proud parent, to see him develop and grow and have, self-confidence and, understand his situation, that it doesn't make him who he is. He can create whoever he wants to be. So it's a road. It's a road.
Do you find that you still kind of like a little bit of over nurturing with him still?
I've always been, I've heard people say, "Oh, you cater to him. Oh, he's your favorite child." No, it's that he needs more attention in this area. The other ones may need more attention in other areas, or may not need attention. That I have to force the attention. So each child is different. Each child is different. But when you're aware of mental health, and you educate yourself, it's much easier. It's much easier. Yeah. So, how's it in the 40s, Kim?
I think it's. I think each of us has to take the time to make sure that we are maintaining our sanity and our mental health.
Right.
Because
what
it's
about
no good pouring from an empty glass.
Right.
So if I don't make sure I have, myself and staying on point with my mental health, how much help am I really to those around me?
Right.
And it becomes more draining if you're not really on top of, being consistent with your own mental health.
So is anybody open to therapy?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Speed dial.
I have a therapist on deck. Speed dial. Therapist is on deck.
In our culture, again, that's like, therapy.
That dynamic is changing.
Not really. It depends. It depends. It depends on.
But it has
It is. I will say the younger generations are very open to mental health and seeing therapists and things of that nature. They're very open to it. Our generation can still be a little squeamish around, going, because there's always that stigma. I'm not talking to nobody and telling them my business, but it's the younger generation is definitely much more open.
You have to understand that when you're talking, you're getting it out.
Yeah.
When you hold it in, it could be like cancer, because there's certain things that you can't talk to everybody about. It's like shaking up a bottle. Tick, 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 open the bottle, boom. You have to release it, especially when you get of this age, because you can deal with so many health and mental issues if you don't take care of it.
I think by the time, honest to God, this is just my opinion. I think by the time you turn 35, you should be seeing a therapist, especially within our community, because we suffer so many different impacts. We see so many different,
it's every day.
And we see so many different trials and errors, just
trauma,
everything.
PTSD.
Daily.
Honestly, I believe by 35 years old, as a Black male or Black woman, you should be sitting in somebody's chair, honestly, because it's important. Our childhoods have been complete nightmares. And I don't care whether you came out of a nuclear family or a single parent home. A lot of us come from nightmare situations.
But the thing I learned, I'm not a parent, but from observing others, is that there's no manual for this.
My parents
did the best that they could.
The Bible,
and they didn't really know what they were doing.
However, they were going off of their parents, which their parents were going off of slavery. So for that whip and before
that dirt
and that extension cord, We had to change that. It's no way you can walk around doing that
And
these
every
days.
child is different. I have 3.
Yes.
Right.
You can't do what you do for one.
Right.
Absolutely.
For the other.
Absolutely.
You have to be. That's another thing. Being in tune with these little lights that you have been blessed with. Like
Right.
you have to know
You have
each
to
child. You have
nurture
to take
them.
the time.
Right.
And that's a whole parenting. That's a whole nother thing right there.
Right.
Absolutely.
I've been an advocate for my son. I was and you have done the same, at that school, standing in their face, because if you're not an advocate for your child, they will walk over and walk around and leave them behind. But if you're right there, they can have a future. Even things that I've tried that I know my son may have said, no, I'm not going to do this, or no, I can't do that. Or, I'm going to try my best to make sure that I give you that option because you deserve it. So each child deserves, to be treated, according to who they are, not
Individually.
right.
Individually.
Right. Not according to all the other kids, because that's what the teachers do, Well, school system, period, All the kids have to learn the same.
Move away from that side topic. Because all the kids need IEPs.
Right.
Period.
Especially our kids
Period.
need IEPs.
All of them.
What is this?
So,
Individual education plans. And find a way.
How's it going relationship wise?
Child, leave me last. Leave me last.
How's it going?
Leave me last.
No relationship conversation.
You keep coming to me first.
Okay.
Leave me last.
Oh
There you go.
no, honey.
What's
No,
going on
honey.
with
You're gonna have to
relationships?
slip
Are
and
y'all
slide.
allergic?
Go on ahead and slip and slide over to Miss Lady right here. I ain't got nothing for you.
I
I ain't got
Oh,
nothing for you.
wow.
I don't have time for the shenanigans.
Right.
It's real interesting out here.
So what about love, comfort? When I get home, I need my feet rubbed.
I'm good. I got Netflix. I got Netflix,
and
and
chill by yourself.
I mean,
I
that
got
would be
Netflix.
wonderful,
I
but
got neck massages. I got back
being
massages.
single over 40, it's just the
It's
the
a whole
canvas
different
out
thing.
here is just it's very different. I'm not sure what has happened to the dating landscape, but it's
changed.
it's extremely rough terrain, and at this point, I'm good. I mean, it seems like there's bare minimum going on.
Right, right.
I don't know if it's American. I don't know if it's in the air and the water, but just basic things that you would think would occur are just, it's becoming far-fetched, and just
Do you think that social media has taken away from
Oh,
relationships?
they have, absolutely.
sure.
So social media, I will say this. Social media has put the biggest divide between a black man and a black woman, period. I mean, from the passport bros situation to what is hypergamy, traditional versus non-traditional, modern woman versus traditional women. I mean, social media has completely blew the black man and the black woman out of the water. I'm going to be very honest. At this particular juncture where we are right now, the only hope is our young people, because our generation,
Totally different.
our generation,
we're
we're done. We're done. Put a fork in us. We're not even. We just come home and watch Netflix at night now.
We're not done. We're not done.
And I don't think it's just social media. It's also that the dynamics has changed. The father not being in the house, single mothers, you don't have that togetherness anymore.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the
Right.
problem. Like, for instance, on social media now, the big thing is because you're a single mother, you're not worthy to be. You're undateable, right? You're
Right.
undateable because you have
Untrue.
children. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, but I'm just saying,
No, I know.
men,
They don't want that responsibility.
They're on these
My children's
platforms.
father tried to implant that seed into me that nobody was going to want me.
Right.
That was a lie.
Yeah.
And it's a
Yeah.
lie.
And if I would have believed it, then it would be a whole
Well, see, that's
different
the
smile
thing.
on my face.
Most women believe the lie, because where we are right now, men are not approaching us and dealing with us like how, what you would say, grandfathers, like, you know, the
So,
old time.
It all boils
men
down
used
to we need to heal. We need to heal.
Everybody needs to heal.
I agree with that.
Everybody
I agree
needs
with
to
No,
heal.
that.
I mean like no. I mean
Right.
like really.
I
Like,
agree with that.
and a lot of times, because we can't break it down to men and women, we want to just move on to the next one. Move it on to the next one. No, you have to get to know yourself. You have to know where you went
Girl.
wrong.
Again,
you have to learn how to see
Back
those
to what
plays.
Tasha said. Nobody wants to take the time to look in the mirror.
Gotta look in the mirror.
No, everybody wants a bandage. So, you know, but they don't realize that that bandage has to come off.
Yep.
Because as long as that bandage is on there, you're not going to completely heal.
But then
Mhm.
you're it's a
But
do
nobody
or
wants
you
to take
it's
responsibility.
a do.
Exactly.
If it's the other person, you're not
And you're
not- right,
not
If it's the
yourself.
other person.
Holding
So-
just being accountable. That's a big issue that we have nowadays. Nobody wants to hold themselves accountable. It's about pointing the finger
finger.
to everybody else. It's you. It's because of this. This is why. No. What part do you
Did
play
you
in a
play?
situation?
What did I do? What could I have done
That's
better?
understandable, but my thing is this: I'm on these social media platforms, and I have been accountable for myself. I've been
Right.
out of the dating game now for over 7 years.
Oh,
I haven't
my.
been in a relationship. I have not dated. I haven't done
Why are
anything.
you out of the dating game if you're single?
What do you
If
mean?
you're single.
You
What
at
do
the
you
gas
want?
station.
Passport bros have proven that, right? Like
It's
it's
a
not
matter.
us.
Take us number at the gas station.
People don't really approach you.
It
Not-
doesn't
not
matter.
a lie.
Even if you
No,
do
not a
talk
lie.
to men, even if you do go up and talk to men, you'll see me sit right there
Right.
and talk to this dude.
You cute.
I told him straight up. I told him straight up. I made no bones about. I'm at that level in my life now.
And they
that
were
if I-
vibing.
Wasn't ready. Oh.
and that's fine. And that's fine.
A lot of people
That's fine.
aren't ready. So why aren't people ready anymore?
Because they hurt.
Because they keep jumping from situation to situation
Instead of
without
healing.
dealing with
too many
self.
the problem, which
Right.
is
Yeah.
them.
So
Which is them.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
them. And until you become accountable
It's
for
us.
yourself,
It's 50% you and it's 50% me.
so it's
Not
us.
them, it's us.
It's us.
whichever
Yeah,
way you want
each
to.
one of
That's,
us.
that's important because what happens is that when y'all see our perspective, y'all women
Come on.
want both sides. You want old fashioned, you want new when it's convenient for whichever one. And so a lot of times, like you
Expound.
said, guys are
Expound.
kind of like they
What
confused.
that mean?
Which girl am I
That's
getting?
no,
Which-
that's
which-
none of that way.
No,
No, it could go both ways because
Yeah.
y'all want the new age woman who
Yeah,
works,
none of that way
take
too.
care of the bills, take care of the kids, have the entrepreneurial drive,
We gotta do all that.
and then y'all want the woman
We
to
just gotta
stay
have an
home,
understanding
fold
of what it
clothes.
is. We gotta have understanding what it is. Whatever it's gonna be.
And
If
that's
it's 50-50 partners, if I'm doing everything,
We got to do it
we gotta
together.
know what
you
to
gotta
do.
talk
What
about
is.
it.
We
Right,
gotta
the
talk
thing,
about it.
communication.
We slide into
Communication.
these situationships and
Right.
you don't know what it is.
Right.
Right.
Put it out on the table. Like,
Right.
what you looking
Be
for? What
honest.
what you
Right.
trying to do?
But people don't know how to be honest.
That's
anymore.
why I sit in the corner.
But they say
That's why I sit in the corner.
you gotta get in the game.
And listen, I
Yeah.
specifically, I will not lie. I will not lie. It's not like I can't get in
So
the game, but
let's
I.
go back to Denise. Let's go back to the conversation that you had recently with your mom.
Oh, about being single and
Right.
growing old. Okay. So the biggest concern that my mother has now is that since I have been sitting out, quote unquote, on the sidelines for a while now, you know,
Meaning you're not in a relationship.
I'm not in
Right.
a relationship. I haven't
She's
dated.
not
I'm
pursuing
not
anyone.
pursuing
Have
it.
you been going out on dates?
No.
Go
Or you
out.
really been on the sideline?
Yes.
You just
Go
watching
out.
cars go past.
Work and school.
Right.
You're right. Right. Absolutely. So it's creating a situation between my mother and I now because she's like, you know, you're getting older, don't have a partner, you don't have any children. And my concern is that, you know, as you continue on to age, that, you know, no one is going to be there to, you know, help you as you move through the latter half of your life. And I completely understand her concern about that, right? Because as women, technically, you know, in the past, women were married, they have their children, and women, you don't find them in nursing homes by themselves. They usually have their children by their side,
Right.
or their children come and take care of
Or
them,
the husband.
or the husband is there. They go through the process, of aging gracefully with their
family,
partner.
right?
But that's a big issue now that a lot of us women in our 40s are facing since we're not in relationships. And I think that that's a really huge concern for my mom, and I can understand it. Me, on the other hand, I haven't really focused on that. I'm not going to lie. I haven't really focused on that because right now where my life is, I have great friends. I have friends that I consider like family to me. I can get up, I can go, I can travel, I can do all
And
the
you've
things that I want.
accomplished a lot.
And I've accomplished a
Right.
lot in my life as well too, which has allowed me and afforded me the ability of once I get to old age, I'm not going to have to worry a lot financially, right? Because I'm preparing myself to know that I'm going to be on my own in that latter half of my
So you're
of my
okay
life.
But
with?
then who you gonna go to Denny's with?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it might be it might be my homegirl Becky. You're right. I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
So do you see yourself being single for the latter part of your years, or do you see yourself getting into a relationship, Kim?
I mean, I would hope that I can get into a relationship, but
Do anybody
It just
see
looks-
themselves getting married?
I don't see.
I'm not opposed
Yeah,
to it.
I
I'm not opposed, but I don't know that I see it.
I don't see myself getting married at 50 something years old.
Tasha, you see yourself getting married?
I want to get married.
You wanna
one
get
day.
married? Okay.
Been on a date. You been on a date?
But I mean, I think if you
I'm
ask
dating someone
any
right
of us
Okay,
women,
okay.
I think
Somebody at the table.
Right.
I think
Right.
generally most women want to be in a partnership,
Yeah.
but
But it's so
nowadays,
difficult nowadays.
it's very, very different.
Right.
Just like
and the older
partnership.
you
Because
get-
back when we were younger, our mothers pretty much, their life wasn't as stressful. A lot of them stayed home.
Right.
They were
didn't work.
stay-at-home moms.
Mhm.
They didn't have to worry about paying all the bills. It's just so much different now, to where things that they took far as abuse, cheating, alcoholism, things that they
Drugs.
dealt with back then.
We don't have to deal with
We
it.
don't have the patience for it because we have so much on our plate.
Yep.
So either we want to do this together and work together and accomplish this thing together, because relationships and marriage is work. It's
Mhm.
like having a job. It's
Yeah.
another job.
Mhm.
Like
It is.
it's not happy every day. It's not, sad every day.
Right.
But long as you communicate, you work together, it can happen. But no one's willing to put in their energy,
Right.
and make it successful as enough as they are for their career. So I don't understand how we're dropping the ball, but we're really
Easy.
dropping the ball
Easy.
on each other.
I don't think it's dropping the ball on each other.
Yeah.
I don't really think it's that. I don't think it's that we're dropping the ball. I think
She
that
just said she gave up. You can say you
Right.
gave up.
I'm not saying I'm giving up. I just
You
don't
just
know
said
that I
there's
can
no
see
hope.
it.
Yeah. no
I
hope.
don't
There's
know
no
that I
hope.
can see it.
I didn't
Not
get.
saying
I
that
didn't.
doesn't mean-
So wait a minute.
Prognosis
let-
doing things like you're already going in with a negative mindset.
Right,
And
right.
out here, everything
No,
different.
not all women. I'm not.
Not all
I-
women. Not all
Wait a
women.
minute.
'Cause
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
feel
that.
like that. I don't feel the way
I'm
they
not
feel.
saying that.
I didn't
I
say
said
that.
I can't
It's gonna
see it.
take. It's
Right,
right.
All y'all
No.
go out and get, man, anytime y'all want to.
Yeah,
Everybody
but
just
is
say,
it the man?
Is
Is
it
the
gonna
right
be
one
the
for
man
me?
Comes along
you.
with it. It's what
I'm
comes
looking, I can
along
see
with
it.
it.
Is it going
I
to be
can
the
see
man for you though?
I'm
Right,
not saying-
right.
I'm not saying-
If you came to party, let me hear you blow that whistle now. If you came to party, let me hear you blow that whistle now.
Blow that whistle. 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 Blow that whistle.
Don't come for me, because I've been down this road too. Don't come for me, begging for me, and get me to where I need to be, and then you not even you trying to send me through drama again?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that I do no backseas. No
Right.
no
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 backsies.
No
Don't take
backsies.
backsies.
no
Don't
backsies.
take backsies.
No
Gotta
backsies.
be real convincing.
I realized what I did wrong before.
No.
I'm more mature
You gotta be
now.
No.
real
I
convincing.
realized
No.
you're such a good
Don't go
woman.
I
Nah,
don't
you
care.
definitely
No.
Don't go back.
No.
Okay.
You gotta be real.
No, because I'm telling you, the way that they did you, the way they did you bad the first time, they will do you worse the second
I don't know
time.
what that looks like.
Yeah,
How can somebody
I've been
convince
down
you to
that
take
road
them
too.
back?
I don't know what that looks like.
You don't know what it look like?
I've been
You
down
sold-
that road too.
You sold out?
I don't know what taking somebody.
Can
old
you
back
take
to
somebody
the
back,
best.
Tasha?
Thank you. You'd be crazy if you did. You already let them go. They already
Let
showed
them
you their
go.
hand. They
y'all can
showed you
bring
their
back
cards.
old
They showed you
man, can't bring
everything.
back an old boyfriend.
What do you say?
Y'all can talk about some kind of combination.
You can bring-
hairstyles or
you
something.
can bring
Old
back
style.
all-
You can bring back the old hairstyle. You can bring back the old kind of clothes.
There you go
but
there.
can't bring
There
back
you
the
go
old-
there.
Yeah.
You right
Yeah.
there.
I feel like 9 times out of 10, it's not really authentic.
So
It's
Let
not.
us say-
I just know it's the thing.
So do people
I've
change?
tried it.
Yes, people
I
change.
just
People
tried
change at
You was the
over
wrong
40.
one. It could have been
People
the wrong
change.
one. It could have been the right
Timing.
one.
Listen,
Right.
Time.
Listen,
right.
It depends on why
Listen,
you woke up.
I looked at the situation and I said to myself, I'm not going to increase my body count.
But
in
that
no
was
way.
that one situation.
Let me try to work with what I already had. You know what I'm saying? He's not a new body.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said I am not trying
So
to increase.
You're
my
not
body
willing
count.
to get a
But
new
you'll go
body,
back.
and you're not willing to go do backsies. So
Don't believe that.
No. See, I feel like you're judging me and you're saying like I'm not open to.
what
dating.
are you open to?
I am open to meeting a man, and I'm open to getting to know him and stuff like that. I'm just not in a predicament, or I'm not out and about as I was in my late 30s and early 40s, as I was
to be seen.
Right.
seen. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I work from home.
So if someone see you on this show today and show interest, are you
I'll let you,
open?
girl. I'll let you, girl.
Okay.
I'll let you,
There's
girl.
some hope. There's some hope.
How about you, Kim?
You can show out these
Listen,
ones.
I don't see it.
Not surprised
I
to
don't see
me.
it either.
But y'all didn't see it in me either.
Listen,
But you
all
didn't see
of,
it in me
listen,
either.
all of y'all are laughing, but I feel like each one of us, or if you don't, you should realize that what it takes for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the
Yeah.
type of person you need.
Right.
I need a particular, a different type of person
The certain
for
qualities that you want.
yeah
Right.
for who
That's fair.
I am.
That's fair.
Right.
So sure, come at me, but I know the reality of who I am
Right.
and,
And what
I
you're willing
need.
and not willing to
That don't
accept.
mean you're gonna get past.
Right.
Yeah,
That don't mean
so-
you're gonna get past the door.
That's the caveat, you know, and it's not like some long list. It's
Right.
just the reality
basic.
of
Right.
It's
of
like
what
15 things on the list.
Maybe.
So y'all gotta watch
That's-
this movie
it's
called
not
Mr.
just
Melvin's
on the
List.
list.
Watch that tonight.
So you
I don't know
have
if it's
some
Netflix.
non-negotiables, right?
Watch that.
We
It's like
all
one of
do.
those,
But then you have some things that you can let slide.
oh for
what's the
sure. And
movie?
what I'm saying
Okay,
is that
that's good to know.
I have broken these things down, but I don't know that I found a certain success when I one way or the
You
other.
break it
Exactly.
down.
I
Right,
agree
right.
with you. I agree with
I
you.
get
there.
you.
I
It's-
agree
I
with
get
you.
you.
What's one non-negotiable? Like they have to have it or it just can't work. Like one
You need a job.
Respect.
One
You need a
non-negotiable.
job. You need a
Respect.
job.
So finance.
You need finances.
that no, giving up
That's a
because you
given.
should have a job especially if you're
I
over
mean, you
40.
would think,
This is
but nowadays,
Baltimore.
That's a given.
child,
This is Baltimore.
No, she's saying you should. Well, you're not even going to look in that direction. So let's give something that
So you
that
say
you're
he has
willing.
to be stable. In
He has to be, to me, for me,
There you
he
go.
has to be financially stable. And the other thing for me is I need to know what your morals and values are.
Right,
it.
right.
I need to know what your
Right.
morals and values. I cannot roll with a man
mental health.
that is like you
Mental
walking down
health.
the street and you go kick the bum and not give the bum a quarter. Like,
Right.
all right, I can't do you. I
So
can't
he
do
had
you.
bad morals. He kicked
Yeah,
the
I can't deal with a man that his morals are
So that's
corrupt.
What does that mean though? So the bump. So he has to.
I'm just giving you an example. Okay, just hypothetical,
So does he have
because
to go to church? What if he don't?
I would like him to
What if he
be.
don't?
I'm okay
that's-
with that.
she's
I'm
okay
okay
with
with that.
Because I want to dissect morals. Because like, yeah, okay, so he cannot go to church. He needs to believe in
He
God.
does. I would like him to listen. I would like him to be.
Religion plays a part.
I would like him to be spiritual in some way.
Right.
You know, have a spiritual practice or be spiritual in some way. He does not necessarily have to go to a church. I mean, it would be nice, but I mean, you know, let's be realistic. The black church, that's a whole nother conversation.
Don't even go
right.
there.
Let's let's not go there.
Yeah, sure.
But when you're talking about morals, I'm going to give you an example. Okay, I used to work downtown, off by Shot Tower, and you know when you're walking down Shot Tower, you see all the bums down
Yeah.
there,
Sitting on
right?
the wall.
You see them everywhere, right?
There's a food bank and a shelter over there.
Absolutely.
That's why.
And there's a 7-Eleven
They're my favorite.
right there where they normally sit most of the time. Anyway, so I had gotten so accustomed to walking down there and talking with
She's sitting right by the light.
Sorry. Okay.
yeah, so I've always made it my practice that when I go down that way, I always have a bag of change. I always have, something for, to give to people that are homeless. One day I was walking with one of my guy coworkers, right? One of my guy coworkers. And he said to me, and this really just got my goat, because I was like, yeah, I see who you are. So he said to me, he was like, why you be giving them food? Why you be buying them food? Why you giving them money? All this other stuff, because all they're going to do is buy drugs and this, that, the other, and the third, right? And I'm sitting up there like, so what if it was you? What if it was you laying on that corner?
That's what he said.
So you just
That's
know
what he
you're not
said.
done.
I knew that if we unpack this, I would have problems with what you were saying. Okay, so the moral part, this gentleman is only going by his experiences and what he's seen, right? So let's say that he had all of the other things, even though you weren't talking about dating him. Let's say that you was attracted to him. Let's say his finances was in order, but y'all differed on these social things. He's only the product of what he's seen, right? You could teach him other things. You could show him another way.
But see,
But I think that
Sometimes
you would meet somebody that could have some of these other things, but if you zoom in on that particular
One thing.
thing of that social, you can teach him. He probably gave
That's
money
the
to
problem
people,
that we have,
and
though.
maybe he's experienced people getting over on him, and he's seen. He
Right.
tried to look out for somebody.
I understand that,
Right.
but if you're morally
teach him something else.
if you're morally bankrupt, I don't see how I literally can teach you anything.
Wait,
at this
wait,
point. Because
wait a minute.
if you're somebody that is
There are
willing to
There are
steal
people-
from people, you're a businessman, but you're
Okay.
willing to
Now,
steal
that's
from.
different. Now, I
That's what I'm
understand
saying.
that.
This
No,
is
no, no.
morals.
Well,
We're
you
talking about
gave
morals
right.
and
This is
values.
different. I'm
but
saying
what
this is
he's saying is that I think we have an issue where people think because they're in a relationship and we're both adults that we can't teach and grow together.
No,
Wait a minute.
And you
Where
can
it's
change
more
my
like
thought.
people think that women, I ain't raising no grown man. That's the first thing
They
we
just
say.
wanna
But
expose
however, we come from two different backgrounds. So I gotta learn you and you have to learn me.
And
Then we can
society
meet in the
makes us-
middle.
A society naturally makes us harder. You know what I
Right.
mean? More ways, because stuff's more coming down on us. And generally speaking, society is supposed to make y'all a little bit more reasonable than us.
Mhm.
We naturally be like, fuck that, yeah, protect, get away, it's all money. Kind of like that. So that's his mindset. But the world is kind of screwed up. We give all this money to Ukraine. They get billions and billions of dollars. But we got all this stuff here that's messed up. Schools messed up. They can give all that money here, but they give billions away other places. That's just how the line is worked.
Right.
It's kind of screwed up.
And so I kind of get where you're going. So then you got to go back to this list of the non-negotiables and the things that you can't deal with.
Right.
And that might just be, it might have been a bad day. It might have been something that took him off the edge, but is he a bad guy? Would you not date him? Or is there some, other things that are higher on the list that would?
Okay,
Yes,
so there
exactly.
are okay, so yes, there are some men that you could get with, and they're a little sketchy or whatever. They may have certain ways about them. You're like, dang, oh my gosh, I'm gonna need to do an overhaul on you. But there are some men who live by their mantra to just pillage, plunder, and destroy people.
That's true.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
You stay away
And
from
Yeah,
it.
yes, so you
Stay
get
away
out the
from
way.
them.
And
Yeah.
that
If he gonna get trained,
is
he gonna.
not what I'm
That's
trying
what
to
you
do.
call a broken person.
That is
if
not
you're
what I'm
broken,
trying to deal with.
Right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You
I'm
don't
not
even
going to
wanna
deal
get
with a
that stuff
man that
back.
has a business and he's working and providing a service for somebody, but on the back end, you're literally raping and taking money from these people, and you expect me to sit there and be your woman? What are you gonna do to me?
Right.
What are you gonna do to me?
Tasha?
Politicians do that.
Tasha?
Corporations do that. So it's like if the guy is lower on money pole, like if he's a street guy versus if he's a white collar guy and does the same thing, you would accept it from that one.
No, not necessarily.
neither
So,
way.
no.
That's what they do. That's what politicians do.
But no, that's okay. So again, you're putting me right back into what?
The corporate, the Fortune 500 people. That's what they do.
Yes, I will agree with you to a
That's
certain
what I'm saying.
degree.
So
But again, the guy I'm dating or I want to be
would you date a
involved
street
with,
guy, somebody that's out in the streets, you know,
a drug dealer.
okay, that's not. Would you? Yeah,
A drug? You mean like a
Yeah.
Baltimore Dusty?
I don't know.
No, how about a New York Dusty? Because it comes.
I mean, it don't matter, New York or Baltimore Dusty.
That's what it comes. Because let's not act like these New York guys.
I mean, Baltimore or New York Dusty, it don't matter. No, I would not. I would not, because
So
where I am.
guys is when you not a street
Listen,
guy,
let me
it's not a
tell you something. I don't care if your ass is riding on the back of the sanitation truck, and when you get off, you smell like a deer that done been out in the wood dead for like 50 million years. Guess what? You make 80K a year, and you make 80K a year honestly.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't want your ass. My days of looking at the dudes on the street level pharmacist, I graduated from that, I think, when I was like 29. You know what I'm saying? So like that doesn't even impress me at this point. You want to impress me? Come home with some dirty ass clothes after you done worked on this, that, the other, and the third, and it's your money, you collecting your check, and you giving an honest day's wage. I don't want to have to be going to no jail looking for your ass. Right? Which woman want to deal with that?
So, there's some.
Okay, well,
I see them.
let them do that.
Maybe I'll do it.
Let them do that. I want to come home to my man. I want to make a lunch. I want to give him a lunch box and give him a
You
juice
some
box.
milk.
I believe as a black woman, you have to go through things on all different scales as far as relationships. Finding a spouse, because you can like have the person that's at the low, the person that's in the middle that don't want the stagnant and don't want to move. Then you can have the person that's on top that don't have time for you, or they're doing some crooked things, or they're cheating, or they're too arrogant,
Right.
It's just so much that you have to deal with and nitpicking through it. Yet sometimes, I understand where they're coming from, that you just get tired, like I'm good. So it just have to take for certain what you can do, like I've done, is took the time out to work on self. And working on self, I brought balance in my life, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually, to bring everything in alignment to attract what I wanted in my life. And I find that works better than going out and looking or bashing yourself for not having something that everybody else think you should have. So when you come into self, you know where you belong at the end of the day. You know who you are, and you know what you want, and don't let go of that.
And I'm honest to God, I'm gonna tell you, I mean, I'm very happy being at home and being at peace. I found that when I went to the club all the time and I was always partying, I was always drinking. I was not happy.
Right.
I was not happy at all.
That might not be where you found them at.
Right.
Anyway.
It was just like,
I found them at the
I
back.
always felt like I was the running man. Just constantly running to the club.
Because you're so busy trying to fill a void,
Right.
instead of filling yourself up.
Right.
So when you fill yourself up, you have enough to pour into somebody else.
Yeah.
Now I have my prana.
Exactly.
and that's why I said I don't want anything to disturb my peace. And maybe I have gotten very complacent. Maybe I have. I'm open to hearing you guys say that,
Accountability.
you know, maybe I have gotten very complacent. I mean, after 7 years, you would think that, you know, you just kind of cool sitting on the couch.
Because I will say, I've been in a relationship for a little over a year now, and saw a good girlfriend, ran to her, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got somebody, it's looking good. She was like, you got somebody? She was like, I thought you ain't want no man. Like a woman that has 3 children, like able-bodied, working every day. What make you?
She thought
was
you were bitter.
serious.
She thought you were bitter.
And it was just because I had certain expectations,
Right.
and I would date on and off. I would go through my period
And lo
where I
and
would be.
the person was right in her face.
Now that's
the
a whole nother
time.
story.
Yeah,
That's a whole
The
nother
person
story.
was right in her face the whole time.
So you guys are like really resonating with me at
Right.
this table because it was somebody that I wasn't attracted to, somebody that I looked at as a brother for years. If I needed to know what electronic I needed to get or directions or something or whatever, he was at my baby showers. He was at my kids' birthday parties. He was at football games. Like everything. Like one day, I just made one comment and it was like green light.
It was on.
And I know, and I don't
Timing.
Yeah, he was waiting probably.
No, so
It was
after,
timing.
it was timing because we had a whole discussion. We had a panel like after, because it was a kiss. It was a kiss that really just like, that ain't how you kiss your sister. Let me go this way. I touched my sis. I clutched my pearl and I rolled out and I was quiet for like 3 hours. And I'm not a quiet person. I was quite like,
This feel a little strange. I'm feeling a little something.
I'm thinking my clothes fell off. When my brother
Like,
kissed
I'm starting to get feelings some places I ain't even.
this was my brother. So after dating and then putting it out to the family, my mom was like, I thought that was supposed to be your brother. He was. But it was like, after discussing, it was feelings had cropped up maybe, I know it sounds crazy, but 10 years prior. I know that's a long time, but it was like, so when you started feeling like this, I never know you felt like this about me. Like, so why you ain't never say nothing? And it went through all of these questions.
Time and maturity.
Time and maturity. He cried about his girlfriends. He seen me through all the baby daddies, like everything.
Right in your face.
Not
So
an
guess
argument.
what?
The most important thing in that situation is y'all had the foundation of a friendship.
Foundation.
Right.
You know, and so that
And that's
friendship
very
is what
important.
take y'all far.
That's very important because a lot of people build their relationships off of
Attraction.
looks, attraction, and
But
sex.
you need that.
And sex.
You need that, yeah.
You know, and that's nothing to
Which
build
was
off of.
developed.
But you need the
Because who looks to be attracted to their brother?
Well, see, let me tell you what I did with that. I'm not gonna lie. What I did with that whole situation, I used to have a lot of men friends, and I ended up cutting them all off. And the reason why I did that is because the problem is that these guys, although they claim that
They're
friends,
They're
they
waiting. They're waiting.
It's like
in the bush.
It's both.
No,
it's
right.
both. It's both. So I decided, I said to myself, I woke up and I was like, you know what? Even if I were to get into a relationship with another man, with me having all these male friends, it's going to be a problem.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
At least
let me
took
do it
accountability. You took accountability and you dealt
So
with
were
that.
they really friends?
So you're
No,
but what she's doing is
because I get it. Because
she's-
even
yeah.
with him though, when I started dealing with someone and it was gonna go, I'm thinking it's gonna go somewhere. I would say, hey, I got these 2 homeboys,
Right.
and I need you to know that if it
And
don't
they
go
ain't
right
trying to
with
give you
you,
no real good advice. They ain't trying to give you no real good
but
advice.
still, they are waiting for their opportunity,
Exactly.
and they're going to stay there. I had one that stayed
Is that
and
always the
waited
case?
for his
Not a-
opportunity.
It's the majority of the time it is.
I think
In
the
my
majority of the time it
situation-
was, but he admitted that he was platonically just my friend for the first 10 years. He did not see me in that fashion until one day, and I don't know what happened.
All they waiting is for the green light from you.
So are you saying
That was
that
10
it's
years
not
ago.
possible?
They wait for the jump call.
It's
They
not
don't wait for that
possible for
one.
men and women to be just strictly
And
platonically friends.
It is possible. It is possible. But
It
the
is.
problem
But
is
guess what? I'm sorry.
Nobody
You
has
still-
to be waiting. It's a small percentage because of the society that we come
Right.
from. But I want to say that I feel.
But
from
that
my
is-
heart
I'm gonna tell
There
you how
is,
it's
wait a
with
minute,
that.
there is some type
It's the
of
way.
attraction.
It's the way that the man approaches you. will determine to tell you whether that's really his objective of being a platonic friend or if he's just
Not all
waiting
the
to
time.
be in the friend
Not all
zone.
the time.
If he's
So
gonna go
we-
in the friend zone.
So here's how we work.
They play them games. I
It's
ain't got
not
time
a
for
game.
I got
It's
time
not
for
a
them
game.
Ain't no man waiting 20 years though. You waiting 20 years?
Platonic friend. And if
I got time for
put
them
it
games.
in the zone that we just friends, we just friends. I can think that she's attractive. I can all of that. She can have a boyfriend. I can have a girlfriend. We talk about it, everything that you just described. But I find her attractive. But we only in a friend zone. If we single at the same time and something happens and then the line gets crossed, we can hit another gear. You know what I'm saying? We can hit another gear, or I can stay in that gear of just being that. So it depends on the green light happens.
I think once you cross the line, it's done.
It's done. It happened
done.
to me before.
It's done.
Dude played it so down to the science that it was cool. And then one night went out, got drunk. We was hanging out in the car, chilling. Dude's like, ah. I'm like, okay, where'd that come from?
You wasn't that drunk then.
No, I was drunk. He was drunk. He was drunk.
Oh, he was drunk.
He kissed me.
Oh, that's why he was so right. But if he had been drunk, it would have been okay.
But I feel like once you
You wasn't
cross
drunk
that
enough.
line,
I would not. I'm
It's-
nowhere
it's
near.
done.
I wasn't
It's hard to go
attracted.
back.
you can't go. It's no going back because
Yes,
friendship
you can.
level and relationship
I
level,
think you
intimate level
I've
is two
actually
different
And
things.
done it.
Well,
No, that's
I
if
crossed the line. You know where it's
that's
going,
if
and
you
then
crossed the line
now
and you
we
were
just friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I
but
think
that's
that'll be
if you
fun.
did it the right way.
Ain't
Now
no
some
right-
people
there's no
wait to
bad
cross.
rule.
Yes, it is because some people wait to cross
It's
that
a
line.
mutual agreement.
And y'all friends, but when y'all get onto the intimate level, they really show you who they are.
right.
Now
Let's
you
say- let's
you
say-
and yourself the whole
But
time,
let's
right?
say that we crossed the line, it doesn't work out. I can jump back over. It didn't work out.
Not all the
She's still a
time.
Not all the time.
Not all the
Not
time.
that. Now that's not true.
No.
That's
No.
not true.
It can happen.
No.
It can happen,
It
but
Because
can
the
happen.
bag,
My
the
bag
bag
is
of
that type
tricks,
of man.
the bag of tricks
Right.
have been opened up, and
Yeah.
certain things
Right.
have jumped out of the bag.
because
already.
you always gonna want to get back up in
Right.
there.
Not necessarily.
Certain
Alright.
things have already fell out the bag that you can't take back. So
Hey.
you got one choice after that
Well,
happened.
It's just like if we had a kid together, right? We got a kid together. We
That's
together,
only-
now we're not together no more.
That's only if
I'm
there
not,
wasn't.
I'm not being crossed the line. I'm dating who I'm
That's
dating.
you
dating-
can do
Yeah,
that.
But baby daddy always feel like he can always come back.
But that's
I don't
only
want
if
to.
there isn't any
See what he said? You heard what he said,
They
right?
can't always come back.
Of course
You
I
might not
can.
want them.
But right, but that's
said,
only
right?
if there isn't any
You
disloyalty.
trifling.
You know, like they're honest person. They're you know, you just realize that okay, we're not meant to be together. We're
Right.
meant to be friends. That's fine. But once
Right.
once there's disloyalty
But
involved,
does that mean you can't talk to me no more? Does that mean we can't go out
you
for
can.
activities?
But once
can
you're
be disloyal.
disloyal, because what a true friend can do, which happened to me, is wait until they cross that line, and then they know all about you, so they can easily manipulate.
Yep.
They can easily manipulate.
Huh,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
Is that a real friend?
If there was
No, that's why you can't go back.
He
So
been
what is
plotting.
it?
He been plotting on you. He been plotting
wanted-
on you
he
from
wanted the
a
cookie.
long time
A female
ago.
friend or a male friend?
A
Male.
That's what
male.
I'm saying. Okay, I fucked up, I cheated on you, whatever it was, right? We broke up,
Right.
right? But we got mutual friends, so we still in the
No.
same friend circle, right? So eventually we get cool. Like I
No.
can't just speak to you. We
No.
just cordial.
That's not
We just
the case.
cordial.
No.
We just cordial. How you doing? Whatever. Eventually, we have a conversation. I acknowledge I fucked up. It was a mistake. I did this. Da, da, da. We still cool. I'm saying I apologize. Eventually,
You're not getting back in these
I'm not
drawers.
trying to. I'm just saying
Oh.
we can maintain a friendship.
Friendship.
You know what I'm saying? We got to be cordial and understand. Look, I was with you. I fucked up. You know, I
If
acknowledge that.
if both people are healed,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
and
And
move
eventually
forward.
we'll be
Yeah,
cool.
you
We
have
can
to
a
heal, but can I
conversation.
trust you again?
I'm not
You
trying.
don't
I'm
have to
just
trust them
saying
again.
I'm saying we can hop back on the other side and be friends.
How can we
That's
be
what I'm saying.
friends if I
you
can't
using,
trust
you
you?
using friend, not
Can't
friends.
be friends.
You need. You
How can we be
acquaintances.
friends if I can't trust
Acquaintances.
you?
Okay, we can play with the word acquaintance.
Right,
Right?
acquaintance.
Okay, now I'm acquaintance.
There we
right?
go.
Right.
You don't want to say soda, you want to call it pop, whatever. It's the same thing. Okay,
That's
acquaintance, a friend. We went to a party at the same time. There's food there. There's gifts exchanged. We're friends.
I can't
Okay.
think of a person that has cheated on me that I ever became friends with.
Now,
Sorry.
maybe they did not. What about your kid's phone? How did y'all break up?
Cheating?
Oh, really?
Okay, we're not friends.
Y'all not friends?
No.
They're not friends.
No.
They're not friends.
Nope.
Oh.
Were you ever friends?
I don't do
Were you ever
disloyalty.
friends?
I don't do disloyalty.
I agree
One
with you.
time, you're
Yeah,
friends.
show me.
Okay, so one time-
No.
For me,
What?
Wow.
No.
yeah.
No.
Not if you cross lines.
I mean, I wish you ill will if we don't converse anymore.
You wasn't my friend when you
You wasn't her friend.
It agrees because even with two female friends, just because a female friend crossed the line don't mean you're not going to be a friend no more.
Oh,
It depends on what.
Let me tell you something. With females, if you take a harder. I cut my best friend off who I was best friends with for 20 years.
Wow.
Homegirl slept with the dude I slept with.
But it was him. He did it.
What?
Dude,
Beef with him. Why you beef with
Dude.
her?
It was
Lord Jesus.
dude, let me
Okay,
tell you how I'm an equal opportunity. Let me tell you how I'm an equal opportunity cut you off. Let me tell you how I'm an equal opportunity cut you off. She got cut off and he got cut off. I tried to be friends. I had just broke up with him,
Okay.
and she went behind me
Yeah.
sleeping with the dude.
You causing them to drink over here,
One of my
mister.
homeboys did that.
And I wasn't
And
drinking
so
today.
and I was upset. We wasn't together. He saw somewhere, they hooked up, whatever. I was upset because I didn't know about it. But I'm crazy.
Bye.
She said bye.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. My best friend, she
So
was
you don't speak to her no more?
she was scandalous with some other things too as we got older.
That's how the
So
hell.
I'm sorry. I don't do disloyalty at all
Me
because I feel like if
That's a
you,
hell of a word.
it's a hell of a word.
It is. It's a hell
When
of
you
a
are
thing to do.
Because I'm
I
a person that I open up to you. I give you me, and I'm honest with you, and I expect
So I
it
can't
back.
make a mistake.
You can make. That's not a
So
mistake.
they can't make a mistake.
You can't
Oh,
fall
it's
into
not mistake.
somebody's
It's not
private
mistake.
part and
Sure,
call it a
yeah.
mistake.
Sure you can.
Not
You can
mistake.
make a mistake.
Sorry.
You can make a mistake. Y'all are
mistake,
so crazy
sorry.
right now. You can't make a
Don't.
mistake. Okay, so we agree.
Because you know.
You never slept with somebody that you look like, why did I do that? I should have.
Yeah, but that's
a mistake.
No, that's my
That's
mistake.
not a mistake.
That is a mistake.
That is not. Kim, is that a
That's a
mistake?
mistake.
Don't.
It's a mistake because you was
Somebody-
cool.
I've done it before.
I know you have. Everybody in this room has.
Yeah, but it's not a mistake.
It is.
And what?
You
Everybody
look
had what?
like why did I do that?
I've done something.
It's a why did I do that?
Yes.
It's
You
that,
ever-
that's
you
not a
ever had
mistake
mistake
though.
meal? Like you went to McDonald's and you ate.
No, you did it intentionally.
No, you made a mistake.
You were intentional to drive
Right,
up
you
to
did it.
McDonald's.
You had food in the house.
You did.
You couldn't cook. You went lazy.
So listen, what you're saying is, so yes, there the intention. We did it intentionally, but
You wondered
in
about it, but
I
hindsight,
should not have
in
done it.
hindsight, right? In
I made a
hindsight,
drunk.
mistake.
That's
I
not a
shouldn't have done it.
mistake.
so technically it wasn't.
Why
You
did put your
intentionally
seatbelt on?
did
You
it,
should've put your
but
seatbelt on. You made a
after the
mistake by
fact,
not putting your seatbelt
if
on.
you're
Why
not
did you
feeling a
make mistake?
situation, you feel like it's a mistake, but you did intentionally do
You
it.
knew better. No, I mean, you had your wits about you. You knew what you were doing.
Right.
You did it.
You feel as though it's a mistake, but you
You got
definitely
caught.
intentionally
Okay, you regret it.
were
How about that?
involved.
You regret it.
They got
Yeah.
caught.
You regret it. Not a
Yeah.
mistake.
So
Sorry, I made a
No,
mistake.
no.
right,
That's
so
bad.
I mean,
I
You
regret it.
regret
So-
because
so-
you got caught.
Wait a minute.
You
So
wasn't
wait a
regretting
minute.
it.
Hold up, y'all. Wait a minute. Hold up.
Do something
So-
that she regrets.
So
She
no.
did no
No.
take backsies, no comeback. Only thing didn't come back is hairstyles and clothes.
So you call
No
cheating a
friends.
mistake?
It depends on the circumstance.
No.
Right?
Cheating
So listen,
is cheating.
that's, you know what that was, right?
A mistake.
It
mistake.
depends on the reason. So I'm always on the road. Leave you
How about the
home alone
opposite?
all the time.
Thank you.
And I don't spend enough time and you end up sleeping with some other guy, right?
That's
I
not a
did-
mistake.
No, it
That's
didn't.
lonely.
Okay.
I'm tired of your
and that caused you
BS.
to make a mistake, right?
Nigga, I'm
And
moving
listen,
on.
But yeah, of course, you will take
You
that.
need to come home.
You take that view.
Yo,
And give me some reciprocity.
We did.
Right.
So cheating is a deal breaker for y'all?
Yes. A big one. I don't do
Cheating is not a
cheating.
deal breaker.
I don't. Really?
Depends on the circumstances.
have you ever been cheated on?
Sure.
Mm.
So I cheated, and then she cheated, right? But we moved past
But
it.
you cheated.
Whether
You
she
had no
wanted to
choice.
cheat.
You cheated first.
That's why I said it's not a deal breaker, because
So what
She's
if
not
she
a-
cheat first?
then I get my lick back.
How long did
Oh,
it
so
take
you
for her to
gonna go
stop
cheat.
bringing
So
it
it's
up?
a lick for a lick.
Oh,
How long
my
did it take for her to
God.
stop
I'm
bringing it
done.
up?
I'm done.
Huh?
How long did it take for her to stop
This is
bringing
why
it up?
I have been
balls.
sitting on the
No
sidelines.
balls.
So I mean,
This is
all
why
that
I've been
didn't
no
sitting on
balls.
the
make- the
sidelines.
long run didn't make it,
Right.
obviously, but the aspect of cheating was
Okay,
not
so
what
now
broke this
that
up.
you've done it, you've been through it.
Because you couldn't heal from the cheating.
You know better.
This is
You
why I
do
sit on
better.
the sidelines.
Would you still do it again? Would you go through that
Oh,
again?
no.
Lick back.
What else we got again?
Cheating. Would you do it again?
Um,
Are you open
but
to
the
cheating?
I mean, the circumstances that
Is it-
happened on was me just being wild and crazy. And
Are you
taking
wild and
drugs. I
crazy
just-
now?
No,
You're mature after
because
40.
I'm used to being around women. This is not no big deal. But in
Right.
my 20s, it was like, oh my God, it's a
I
candy
gotta
store.
get
Right. That's under 20s is
Right.
not 20s
So,
is
yes,
wait a
it's
minute.
candy store.
20s
Now
is
it's like candy. Okay.
we can't even talk about our 20s because I'm quite sure all of us done did some
Then why
in
she
our
don't take
20s.
her ex back from her 20s then?
because she's mature now. She's
But are you
not.
mature
That's
too?
from her 20s. You don't go back to
yeah.
20s.
If
I'm
I dated
sorry.
her in my 20s and I was wild and crazy in my 20s and now I'm more settled in my 40s, why wouldn't she give me
He's
another
not
chance?
Because
settled.
we're
But I'm
different
saying, I'm
people.
talking me.
He's
Why
not
wouldn't
settled.
you give me another chance?
Because I'm past you.
Right, okay.
I'm past you. This is
Missing
a
out
whole
on the
new
good
life.
thing.
Right.
You missing out on the good
No,
thing.
he missed out because he cheated.
Most of the time, men will tell you that they where they at and this and that and the other. You get caught up and you find out they ain't changed from they still
Right.
a little
That happened
boy.
too. That
But
happened.
that's another thing.
That's how I got
That's
married to
what
the
they
same
say,
person
and watch 'em.
twice.
You gotta watch them.
That happened?
Yes.
You jumped, so you did a complete 360 on the same group?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I
I dated the same guy
person
twice.
No, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Married,
So-
not dated.
I
Married.
But you know what happened?
Married.
Y'all, you got divorced too quick for the wrong reasons. Y'all still
No,
together.
we
Is
weren't.
that
We
what it
weren't
Is that
compatible.
good?
We weren't
You married, you
compatible.
know, but you got
I
back.
said she's
No,
So
we
you
got
the
back.
same
No,
race, or
we
you
got
got
back
different
because
race?
we had children. I was born in a religious family,
But
and
did y'all use the same rings or did y'all use different rings?
what?
Like, so you got married the second time, did y'all
He's
get
off the hook.
rings? Or
oh,
did y'all get new rings?
the first time he proposed to me, the second time I proposed to him, so there were different rings.
Okay, that's slick.
He is off.
But it was the same relationship with different rings.
You
I
ain't
knew he was coming with that. I knew.
Oh,
Why did I know he was
Lord.
about
And
to
I
say
just
that?
sold my dress.
Why did I just know?
I just sold my dress. No, I gave it away actually.
Your wedding dress?
My bridesmaid's
No.
dress. No.
Oh
I
wow!
just
She
gave
was
it to
one of
my
my
baby.
bridesmaids.
The second
Huh?
time.
Was the marriage better the second time?
No, it ended very
It
quickly.
usually ends.
Very
It's usually
quickly.
worse the second time around.
It was double the hell.
Ammunition.
I'm telling you.
It was double the hell. It was double the hell, and it was horrible. You know, and only reason why, because number one, back then I was still young. I was in a religious family. I wanted my kids to be raised with their father. It wasn't for me. I was doing it for everybody else. That's where I go back to saying what Kim said. You have to be intentional, and you have to be self-aware when you're in your 40s, because
Can't
you're
go
not
for the
thinking of
kids.
self when you're
Right.
younger. You're thinking about life,
wanna
developing,
change my last
and
name
who
back
am I,
again.
and I got to do this and I got to do that, and you don't know. You just
a
existing.
lot of it is conditioning.
right.
You know,
Definitely.
we're conditioned. Oh, you should be this way. You know,
No.
get married. Divorce is
Now
not a
you
thing.
can create
No.
a life for yourself.
And let me say this as well too. In your 40s, it is imperative that you know who you are dealing with, because this is the stage now when men and women have health issues.
Right.
Right.
They
Oh, here go another one. Wait a minute, Denise. Oh, I love you. I really found out I love you, and they get back
Found out.
with you, and found out.
he got cancer.
Everybody say you
Yeah.
found out.
Yeah, it's called a
He just
geriatric
said-
marriage.
he just said
It's a
you found out.
geriatric marriage.
Hey, I got after y'all
No,
get
that's
back
what it's
together, I'm
called.
having open
That's what
heart
it's called.
surgery.
It's
Or
called
I
a
got
geriatric
cancer.
marriage.
No, you want me to take care of you.
Yes, it does.
You
It
don't
is
want
called-
to die alone.
Look it up on TikTok. It is called a
Not
geriatric
on
marriage.
TikTok.
Men will marry
Because of
women
health
in their
issues.
40s who they know are healthy women,
Right.
beautiful women. They will
We get
lead
on
them
the same-
on.
how we know?
They will lead them on. They will tell them, give them the oh baby, moon, so I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna do this. Soon as that ring hop on their finger, next thing you know, honeymoon is done, baby. You know,
I'm sick.
I'm sick. I got kidney
That's our
disease.
fault.
I got kidney
That's our
disease.
fault.
I got to do renal dialysis, and you got to be they wet nurse. Then half of them don't even have insurance.
Right.
So you got to put them on your insurance.
Hello.
That's
Right?
your fault.
Then they don't got
That's
no
for
money.
real.
They ain't got no money. So you
Diarrhea.
busy taking
I
care
went
of
on the
them.
first date,
And
where
then they in
the
debt.
guy said,
And then they in
"What are your
debt."
prescriptions?"
You can't get married to somebody
Wow.
and not have, some of this stuff wasn't foreshadowed about their health.
Shoot.
Look
You
in
must be crazy.
look in the medicine case.
You must be crazy. Let me ask you a question. Every woman that you slept with, did you have her go to the clinic and find out if she had a disease? Every woman that you slept with, did you take her to the clinic and find out if she had a disease before you slept with her?
You're talking about stage 4 cancer or kidney disease. Yes, that's very visible. Signs.
What?
There's some signs. There's some signs.
Dude, no, it's not. Not if they're on dialysis and they trying to keep
Ain't got no
themselves
sign
healthy.
for dialysis.
They trying to keep themselves
What you mean
healthy.
ain't no sign for dialysis?
Trying to keep themselves healthy.
Yeah,
Right?
good sign.
Man got prostate cancer. Oh, okay, so he got prostate cancer.
He's going
How
to
you
the
gonna
bathroom
detect
a lot.
that?
Yeah.
He's going
How
to
you
the
gonna
bathroom a
detect
lot.
that?
He's going to the
How you
bathroom.
really
the
gonna be
bathroom,
detecting
why?
that?
You can keep going to the bathroom like you might be on blood pressure pills.
Well, that tells you right there something's going on.
Like I had nothing to do with prostate. Like I said,
Oh my
He taking a lot of pills. If you see him down
Cousin
a
check
whole
out.
lot
Like
of
I
pills,
said,
he got
huh?
them pills with the days of the week and all them colors.
Cousin to check out.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Like I said, your point, it could be valid, but I see it like this. It's not all the time. It's not all the time. These men, a lot of times, will dupe women who are in our age group right now, and they are looking for a wet nurse. That's what they're looking for. Is a wet nurse.
That's a lot of terms that I've heard today.
You want something wet, but it's not the year.
Oh, God.
You are looking for something. The search continues.
Jesus.
This has been well.
This was a good conversation.
Right there.
That's all for Her Epiphany today. Hope to see you ladies again in another big topic of over 40s. Nice having you here, Kim, Denise, Emanda, and Tasha. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye.